Good morning everyone. So I've got this Yaris in. Actually bought this car from a customer. Haven't had time to do much on it. It's a Yaris SR, so it's a 1.8. So the problem with this car, very common, exhaust corrodes, and this one's no exception. As you can see, I don't know if the camera is picking that up properly, but exhaust had completely corroded. Someone's attempted to put what looks like exhaust paste and added some sort of chemical onto it to try and keep it in place, but this hasn't worked. So today we're going to be taking all of that out and putting a new exhaust center section on, and I'll be taking you through it step by step, showing you how it's done. So let's get going. Right, so I've got the car all jacked up and secured. Placed the axle stand front part there and another one over there. Double check the axle stands every single time. Do not go under unless they're safe, obviously. I have a little bit of space, so I'm going to leave the jack on in place, but if I'm struggling for space, I'll take the jack back out and secure it somewhere else away from this sort of area where I'm entering underneath the car. Also purchased this exhaust pipe cutter from eBay, so this is going to come in handy. The reason being, the exhaust center pipe is actually part of the cat, so if you buy this whole section going all the way back there, you have to buy it with the new cat as well, and it's quite expensive from the dealer, and not many aftermarket parts stores seem to have this one in stock. But I've found a replacement which is just from that section onwards going back. Had to come from Poland. I'll put the link in the description, so if anybody's got this car, this model, and they suffer from the same thing, this video will show you what to do, how to fix it. So yeah, so I put these little mats down as well, so I'm not going to be rolling around in the dirt, so always advise putting something down, whatever it may be. So alright, let's get going. Okay, so I'm under the car. That's the new exhaust, all the way to the back. So if you look at this piece here and this one here, and you can see I'm cutting it right there. I've got the exhaust cutting tool on it. I would say this is not the easiest thing to do, especially on the floor. If you have a ramp, it will be a lot easier, but this way it's still doable. So this is now, I've been cutting at this for about 10 minutes now. It's, I would say, 95% done, so I'm going to keep going a little bit more, and then we should have this front section off. The rear section, with me cutting it and shaking it, it's already decided to come apart by itself, so I'm going to have to clean up that flange there from the back box and, you know, reuse all of that. The springs, the exhaust bolts, I've got all new ones, including the gasket, so that's not a problem. We've got all new parts to go there onto the new flange and the center one. So let's keep going and we'll get this off soon. Okay, so got the exhaust front section cut here, so I'm gonna clean all this up a little bit with a file, get the other mount off, and then this center section will be ready to come out. Then a little bit of cleaning to do. It's got to sort out this flange, and then afterwards we can start setting the new one up. I might have to trim this edge here as well, so it goes on here. So I've got a few clamps as well, so we'll see which one fits best. If not, we might have to weld it on. So let's get going. Okay, so to make it easier for myself, I've removed the exhaust back box. It's only held on by one rubber mount. As you can see, this one's perished, broken in half. No problems, we've got new ones to go on. The exhaust back box pipe here does look a little bit crusty, but I've inspected it. Hasn't got any cracks or any pinholes, just surface corrosion, so will last for now. This part is not that difficult to find anyway. I believe it's around 80 to 100 pounds. You can buy it from the dealer or you can buy it aftermarket. So worst case scenario, we can change that at a later date. So now the next thing, getting these guys off. Let me turn it over. So as you can see, this is the flange of the old section, and that's where it broke off from. So whoever was here before me really baked it on all this stuff. So we need to get all of this off, then we can take the screws off. If you look at these bolts, they're captured nuts, I mean, sorry, they are completely gone, just crumbling off. So I have a very good feeling that when we take this off, these will just snap off. So not a problem, there's space there, so we can put a nut and bolt. So I've got these springs and the bolt to go through. I'll just put 2 new nuts there, and that should do the job. So I'll get all this off, cleaned up, and we've got to protect this flange, and then we're good to go back on. We'll replace this also. So yeah, let's go. Okay, so managed to get these guys off. I got lucky with them, they didn't really put up much of a fight, but this is the flange that broke off from this exhaust. See, it's got the gasket in it as well. Whoever was here, they even tried putting what looks like some sort of silicone, which doesn't really work on a hot exhaust anyway, but there we go. So we got this guy off. This one still okay. We even managed to save the treads on the captured nut. This one's not so good, so I might just take this off and put a nut there. This one, however, does seem to be in still decent condition. We'll clean all this up, sand it up, get it nice and ready, and then we can crack on with getting the center section back on. Okay, there we go. Got this all cleaned up. Just got a bit of sandpaper, cleaned it all up. So now this area is all ready. We've got the new one of these gaskets, so that's all nice and clean for it to go in and seated properly. We've got the new gasket in here. So I bought all these from eBay. Got the new bolts, new spring. I got 2 exhaust rubbers. This, I can only find these 2. I would have liked to get all of them, but we'll do for now. There's only one that's broken in the car at the moment, which is that one. So there it goes. And this is the gasket. So get that out in a second. So here we go. So this is this guy over here, and this will sit in here like so. So I wasn't too sure if this was the right one because nobody seemed to have it in stock. Then I managed to get a part number for it, which is EMG 660. So if you have a 1.8 Yaris SR, that body shape, then if you're having the same problems and you need to change the exhaust, you need to seal this. That's the gasket you need that goes here, which is once again EMG 660. I picked this up from eBay. It was about £8, so you should be able to do the same. Alright, so this is all ready now. So we got to go back over to the center exhaust, get it all lined up, get it mounted, and then we'll keep this for the last bit, which I'll show you, and show you how I'm going to change this rusty captured nut as well, because I do not want to put that on there and then drive down the road and have it fall off and blow off again. So we'll get that changed as well. Okay, so I've got the new exhaust here. I've already put in the rubber mounts, one here and one back there. So the next thing to do now is, as I stated before, this bit here is going to be too long, so we'll have to trim it. I don't know exactly how much I'll have to trim, so what I'm going to do is offer it up, get it lined up. You know, I could put the mounts on temporarily, get it roughly in position, then when I offer it up to the front section, I'll know exactly how much this is going to be too much on here, so I'll know exactly how much I'll have to cut off. So then I'll just make a marking, and then afterwards I can put this tool on there, bring this back outside where it's easier for me, then I can cut it, trim it, and then we'll offer it back up again. I'll be very lucky if I get it the first time round, but I probably won't. So let's see. I'll show you after I cut this, and then show you where I trim it and how to get it all mounted on properly. Okay, so got the new exhaust mounted, got it on the exhaust hanger over there and on the other side. Also the one here where just before the flange where the back box would connect to. So what I've done here is place an axle stand just on the exhaust pipe here to try and get the exhaust as central as possible, so you can see it running along there. And when we get over here, you can see how much excess we have on this new pipe. So I now know roughly how much I have to trim, and then I've got this clamp, well, it's a sleeve really, so with this it can go on, join both of these together, and I can clamp them on. Now I'm going to mark it, and then I'm going to cut it a little bit before the mark. That way we always have something more to trim. You don't want to cut it obviously too much and then have a gap here, so you want them as close as possible touching, and then, you know, we can go ahead and clamp everything. So I'm going to make a little mark here. You can use a marker pen, or you can use a bit of tape, and then what we'll do, we'll take this all off again, bring it outside, and then we can make one cut, offer it back up again, and then hopefully that'll work. So we'll get on with this, and then I'll show you afterwards. Okay everyone, so I marked it, and now I'm cutting a little bit forward from that mark. As you can see inside, you can see the blades are slowly starting to come through. So once this goes all the way around, this front bit should fall off. I have noticed with this tool it marks here as well, but it's only on the surface. If you look inside, it doesn't actually follow through on the inside, so it should be fine. And we have all of this for that sleeve to go through and clamp down to, so it should be okay. So we'll keep going, and then I'll get this back in the car, and hopefully with a little bit of luck I won't have to keep cutting again. Okay, so got this piece cut off. Didn't come out as neat as I would liked it, left a little bit there, so I'm gonna file that down, and then we'll offer this back up, get it put on the mounts, and then we'll offer it up to the front part of the exhaust and see that sleeve down there goes on. If it does, I'm going to leave it on loose, then I'll move along to the back, get the back box back on, and then get all the springs, the screws, nuts, everything back in, hand tight, and then we'll see how it all sits, and then if I'm happy with everything, we can get everything mounted up. Let's go. Okay, so got the exhaust mounted on. I did have to trim it twice, so I offered it up the first time. Wouldn't fit, so had to take it back off and trim a little bit off as well. These are loose at the moment, this one's a little tight, but I'm going to get these adjusted to corner, this one there, this one here. But before I do that, I need to get the back box on. So this is all intact, the exhaust is roughly in position, It will be adjusted a little bit more once the back box goes on and that flange will connect, and then we'll see how it sits. The important thing is that it doesn't hit anything when it moves about when the car's being driven. Not a big fan of how these mounts are sitting right at the back here, so we'll see if we can get this adjusted. However, they are on, so worst case I'll have to trim a little bit more, but I'm trying to do it without. But the rest of it, it does look pretty central. I have checked, nothing is hitting at the moment, but this could change once the back box goes on. So let's get the back box on. I'm not going to tighten this right now. As I said earlier, it's best to get everything on, everything lined up, and then you can go around tightening everything down. Otherwise, if nothing lines up or if it's knocking, you've got to go back, take it all off and start again. So we'll get the back box on, and then I'll see you back here, and hopefully we can get everything tightened up. Let's go. Okay, so got this one broken off. These are normally just welded in these 4 different spots onto the flange, like this one is. But as you saw earlier, it was all falling apart. These are pieces from it, so we can't have this when we got a brand new center pipe attaching onto here. So now that I've got this removed, I can put a nut there. I can weld it on, I can put some spot welds on there, but you know, you've got a head on this side as well, so you can just equally get a spanner on there and tighten it, and it will be fine. It's not going anywhere. But if you do want to weld it, a couple of tack welds there would do more than enough for it. So I ran through the exhaust gasket earlier, so I just want to run through all the parts as well. These are the part numbers for the bolts. So we have this one here, this is one of the bolts. These two are obviously the same part numbers, and the springs, it's that one there. You can get all of these on eBay, this is from Clarius. And then the exhaust mount, I've already changed this one, I put a new one on. This was the one that was broken earlier, so I put this one on now. So this is the part number for that mount. So I just thought I'd run that through in case someone's doing the same job and they need all these parts. It's all on this video. So alright, so I'm going to go and find a nut to put on there, just double check that it works with these threads on these bolts, and if all is well, then we can put this back on, and then what we have to do is line it all up and see if everything's all good. If that's the case, then we can get this all buttoned up and ready. Okay, so I've got the new springs, bolts all clamped on. You can see where they stop. Now if I shake the exhaust back box, you can see there is a bit of movement there. That's normal because when the car's been driven, the exhaust does move, it does shift around, so that's what these bolts do. Now got a nice solid brand new center box with the flange, so this will last for years to come, hopefully. If it is gonna leak again, the next culprit I'm assuming is gonna be somewhere along here, but as it stands right now, it's okay, it's not leaking, so we'll leave it alone because I don't have the back box to replace it with. I did notice, I'm gonna put the light in here, that this heat shield here has come apart, so you can see that it's got like a plastic tab there, which if you pop these out, that will come off. So normally what we do on these is we get an oversized washer, put it behind it and clamp it on, but with this I can't do that. So what I'm going to be doing is either removing this piece because it goes from here, don't really want to remove it, so we're going to try and leave it on there. So what I might do is just try and tuck it underneath that, see if I can find a washer. If I can't, the best thing to do is to get a self tapper and screw it onto there. The reason why I would normally remove this, but I won't this time. It's because the fuel tank is right here, and as you can see, you got the hot exhaust right there. So this heat shield, it's, you know, it's good to leave it on there. You don't want to be taking that off, and I'm sure you'll be fine, but still, don't take the risk. So I'll see. I'm gonna run it with a self-tapping screw in there. If that doesn't work, then I'm gonna go to Toyota, and then I'll just get hold of this new heat shield, just this piece with that plastic tab as well. Normally these are metal, but with this I have a feeling if I go to try and pry this, either these tabs are going to break and then it won't go back on, or it's just going to fall apart. So we'll see what happens. I'll put a self-tapper in there for the time being. That way this doesn't rattle around like that, and it stays in place and it's doing its job. So just to let you know, before I did tighten this, I went back to the front, made sure everything was okay, and as you can see, the exhaust is all lined up and nothing is hitting, so that's a success. So I'll still have to tighten up the front bit. I only went up there to check, so I've already tightened these. You can see that they are sitting flush. If you look through the two flanges, you can see on there, so you'll be able to see that it's sitting. This one is fine, and the other one, I don't know if the camera will catch that, I did have to put a nut and bolt, so which is still doing the job perfectly. So I'm going to button all this up, tighten up the front, and then we'll get the car running, and let's have a listen, make sure that it's not blowing from anywhere, and make sure it's not rattling, and then we can go for a test drive. Okay, so now I've got it all clamped up, all tightened up. So I moved the clamps as far to the edge as possible so it grabs both of the exhaust. So this one obviously this side and this one that side. So there is a little gap there which needed to be there, otherwise it wouldn't have fit. So here's what the rest of the exhaust looks like, going all the way to the back and into the flange, which is also tight. So now I'm going to double check everything, and I'll lower the car, start it, run it, and then I'm just going to raise just the back of the car and check if there's any leaks. Okay, so I've got the car running at the moment. Just take a peek underneath here. Come over here. See, all okay. No rattles. Sound as it should. Alright, so here it is. All running well. I took it for a drive, put it on the dual carriageway and then the motorway so it can get up to speed, and happy to say everything's perfect, no knocking noises, exhaust all happy, still in place, no scrapes, no knocks. So I would say this is job well done. So I can still smell an unusual smell from the exhaust, but that's normal because it's a brand new exhaust. Also, it has stickers on it, and when you go to peel them off, they don't fully come off, and as the exhaust heats up, these stickers will start to melt off, which is what the smell is. So that will be there for a few days. So now this car is ready to get back on the road. I've got MOT coming up, so it's good that this has been done, so now I don't have any issues. So if you need to see any more videos on this car or on the other cars that we do, please like, subscribe, share this video. I'm starting this new YouTube channel. I have a feeling that my mic on this GoPro is not going to be very good, so I do apologize if the sound is not very good, but moving forward we'll get all of that sorted out. So thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe and comment on the video. We would appreciate your follows and your likes. Thank you.